Most people move through life believing they are made of flesh and bone, unaware that what truly shapes their world is something far more subtle. If you could see the hidden currents around you, you'd realize you've never been thinking into the world. You've been vibrating into it. We were raised to think that energy is nothing more than poetic language, a soft spiritual metaphor, something too blurry to measure or too mystical to matter. We say things like good vibes or low energy without recognizing that we are pointing to the deepest structure of reality itself. Science is only now finding the vocabulary to describe what ancient seekers understood long before instruments existed. You are not a dense object wandering through a dense universe. You are a rhythmic presence, a living pulse, a continuous stream of information moving through space. Every thought, every breath, every emotional shift sends out subtle ripples, like signals traveling across an unseen ocean. This isn't fantasy, it's measurable. Right now, your body radiates an electromagnetic field shaped largely by your heart and your brain. Studies show that the heart's field stretches outward, carrying the flavor of your emotions into the space around you. Your brain produces waves that rise and fall depending on your level of awareness. Alpha, theta, gamma, delta. These aren't just labels. They are gates, each opening you into a different layer of perception, clarity, and creation. This means you're never silent. Even when you sit still, you're emitting a continuous pattern, a kind of personal signature that the quantum field reads long before it hears your words. It doesn't respond to what you claim you want. It responds to the vibration you actually hold. This is where the illusion of positive thinking starts to break. You can repeat affirmations endlessly. You can chant, "I'm abundant" or "I'm loved" until your voice grows tired. But if your body is still trembling with old tension, if your breath is tight, if your subconscious is humming fear beneath the surface, the field doesn't receive your phrases, it receives the resonance underneath them. Energy doesn't lie. So the true question isn't, what am I trying to attract? The real question is, what am I broadcasting? The universe doesn't organize itself around your effort. It organizes around your coherence. Coherence happens when your mind, your emotions, and your physical state move as one. When your inner world aligns, your heart and brain fall into a kind of electromagnetic harmony. You release the inner gripping. Your awareness widens, your frequency steadies, and the field responds more directly, not because you forced anything, but because you became compatible with what you're asking for. Quantum physics confirms this through the observer effect. Consciousness doesn't simply watch reality, it participates in shaping it. But it isn't passive observation that changes the world. It's energetic observation. The quality of your frequency influences which version of possibility solidifies in front of you. This is why two people can experience the same moment and walk away with opposite realities. One finds openness and expansion. The other finds fear and limitation. The difference isn't in the event, it's in the observer. And you're observing with far more than your eyes. Your entire nervous system is perceiving, projecting, and selecting reality with every shift in your internal state. You don't turn this process on and off, it's happening constantly. The question is only whether you're participating consciously. To manifest with intention, you must understand your energy as something real and trainable, not as a delicate idea. Your emotions are not just moods, they are frequencies. Anger carries a tone. Shame carries another. Joy and gratitude shape the body in ways that change its chemistry and its electromagnetic pattern. These states send messages into the quantum, like coded instructions. Gratitude, for example, brings the heart and brain to a smoother rhythm, softens stress hormones, strengthens the immune system, and activates the body's calm response. But more than that, it emits a stabilizing frequency that aligns you with pathways of ease and expansion. Hold it long enough, and you become naturally magnetic, not as a metaphor, but as a literal energetic effect. This is where science meets the soul. You are not a fragile human lost in a chaotic world. You are a conscious pattern woven into a vast, intelligent field. And that field isn't something separate from you. It is your extended self, mirroring the vibration you embody most consistently. When you truly grasp this, not just in your mind but in your body, you begin treating your energy with reverence. You stop viewing vibration as a mood. You begin recognizing it as a form of technology, a spiritual instrument that shapes physical outcomes. When you finally take ownership of the frequency you carry, manifestation stops being a task and becomes a refinement. It is no longer about forcing results or chasing outcomes. It becomes a quiet adjustment of the inner dial, shifting your breath, redirecting your thoughts, and softening your emotional climate until it matches the reality you say you are ready to live in, not someday. Now, because the field does not operate on delay, it reacts in real time, moving in accordance with the steadiness of someone who recognizes that they are not a consequence of the world, but one of its broadcasters. This is the true nature of energetic creation. Not superstition, not wishful thinking, but a repeatable state of internal order. And the moment you sense even the faintest resonance of this truth, the transformation has already begun. If you could witness your life before it hardens into events and circumstances, you would see something extraordinary. Beneath your conscious perception is an intricate layer of signals, a network of subtle currents shaping who arrives, what unfolds, and how swiftly change occurs. These signals are not written in sentences or goals. They are tonal imprints emitted continuously from your inner world. This unseen architecture is as real as any physical structure. Just as wireless signals carry information beyond visibility, your energy projects a constant stream of coded data. A living design the quantum field reads and translates into form. This design is built from many layers. Your thoughts play a part, but so do your emotions, your breath patterns, your biochemistry, the way your body holds itself, the resonance of your voice, and most profoundly, the beliefs resting beneath your awareness. Together, these elements create either a coherent tone or a fractured one. And coherence is the threshold where everything begins to change. In coherence, the design becomes crisp, direct, intelligible. The information you emit is unified, and the field can respond with precision, drawing in circumstances and people who reflect that clarity. But when the inner world is divided, when your mind declares readiness while your body still tightens in anticipation of letdown, the message becomes distorted. The field receives interference. Reality begins to form in uneven ways, arriving slowly or inconsistently. This is why manifestation often feels puzzling. It is not that the universe is silent. It is responding to the mixture within you. You may say you want wealth, but if your breath carries tension, if your posture is defensive, if your nervous system is primed for danger, and your core belief whispers that prosperity is unsafe, then the frequency transmitted is not abundance, but apprehension. And fear, repeated enough times, becomes an instruction the field honors. But here lies the liberation. Your design is editable. You are not confined to the emotional resonance you inherited. You are not doomed to replay the imprint of your history. With awareness and deliberate practice, you can recode your internal framework, not only with new thoughts, but with new emotional states, new patterns of attention, and new embodied signals. Once this shift begins, the field adjusts quickly because it holds no bias. It is not concerned with your past identity. It responds only to the broadcast you send in this present moment. This is the fairness built into the quantum realm. Reality does not reward or punish. It reflects precisely, immediately, when coherence is present. To work with this power, you must first understand that your body is not merely biology. It is an instrument of perception and transmission, crafted to interact directly with the field. Your heart, for example, is far more than a pump. It is the most potent electromagnetic source you carry, a central beacon shaping the signature you emit. Research shows that the heart generates an electromagnetic presence far stronger than the brain, a radiant sphere that can be sensed beyond the borders of your body. This field carries emotional information, shaping not only your internal chemistry, but the environment you move through. The brain, meanwhile, acts as an electrical conductor. Its pathways, wave states, and attention patterns all release subtle frequencies. Each time you envision a future or revisit a memory, you shift the tone of your inner atmosphere. That tone becomes part of the energetic imprint you send outward. And then there is the breath, the most underestimated instrument in your frequency system. Your breath influences the nervous system instantly. It adjusts your emotional landscape. A single deliberate inhale taken with awareness begins altering your resonance. And when breathing becomes a steady practice instead of an occasional correction, it transforms the entire field you emit. So the real question is not what do I want to manifest, but what resonance am I broadcasting right now? The field is attentive. It reflects not as a judge, but as a clear surface, shaping reality according to your level of coherence. This is why no vision board, no written list, no repeated phrase can override the energetic tone you embody most consistently. You can stack intentions endlessly, but if your underlying frequency remains discordant, the message is still unclear. Yet when your energy becomes steady, something shifts. Synchronicities multiply, obstacles soften, your clarity sharpens. People react differently to you, not because they have transformed, but because your presence has. Life stops feeling like something you wrestle with and starts moving with you, like a current responding to the way you move through it. And that current isn't random. It follows the mathematics of coherence, a blueprint finally transmitting without distortion. You are not merely surrounded by energy, you are shaping it, consciously or unconsciously. And the moment you choose precision in your inner world, manifestation becomes less about anticipation and more about refining your signal until reality aligns with it naturally. But there is a subtle misconception circulating through spiritual spaces. A misconception that quietly traps people in the very states they hope to rise above. It is the belief that a low vibration is part of who you are, that it marks your personality or destiny, as if some people are naturally attuned to higher states while others are destined to remain in heaviness, as if anxiety or sadness or reactivity means you are somehow less evolved or less capable. This belief is not only false, it is energetically harmful, because whatever you assume about your vibration becomes the room your identity lives in. When you confuse a temporary state with a permanent trait, you unknowingly reinforce the very frequency you want to escape. You begin narrating your limits. I'm just like this. I'm too emotional. I never move forward. But those are not truths about you. They are conditioned patterns, emotional circuits repeated so many times, they masquerade as personality. You were not born carrying a heavy frequency. You learn to compress yourself, to brace, to shrink in response to unmet needs or overwhelming environments. Your nervous system adapted, forming an emotional baseline. That baseline became familiar, and familiarity became your default. But default is not destiny. It simply means it is the state you have visited most often. This is the hidden truth about vibrational identity. What you feel repeatedly turns into what you expect, and expectation becomes the tone you emit. The field does not respond to your highest moment of the day. It responds to the frequency you practice the longest. This is why you can spend a short time in an elevated state, yet still move through the world with scarcity or fear. Your subconscious patterns speak louder than your brief peaks. The field does not evaluate your effort. It mirrors your dominant resonance. So if you want your life to change, you must stop trying to rewrite who you think you are, and instead begin changing the emotional habits that shape your frequency. And this begins with one essential recognition. A low vibration is not an issue of identity. It is an issue of regulation. Your nervous system is the instrument that modulates your entire energetic state. When your system senses threat, whether it is real or only imagined, it contracts instantly. Your breath shortens, your brain shifts into beta dominance, your chemistry speeds up, and your entire field destabilizes, coherence dissolves. Your perception tightens around the worst possible outcomes, and your body begins aligning itself with timelines shaped by fear. Not because you consciously chose them, but because your biology defaulted to what it knows. And for most people, this hyper-vigilant state becomes familiar trauma, becomes a kind of internal gravity. Stress becomes the emotional architecture of home. Even peace, joy, or abundance can feel foreign, as if they do not belong to you. So the very states that could free you become the ones you resist. But a different path exists. You can train your body to trust higher emotional frequencies again. This is the essence of vibrational reconditioning, the slow and steady retraining of a system that once learned to shut down. It is not about forcing positivity or pretending your pain is gone. It is about introducing your nervous system to emotions it abandoned long ago, and doing so consistently through breath, through somatic grounding, through new patterns of language, through daily energetic maintenance. Your internal environment begins to change. At first, the shift is subtle, then it accelerates. Spaces that used to overwhelm you lose their power. Moments that once made you collapse begin to feel manageable. You speak with a steadier tone. You choose with greater clarity. And the field around you adjusts accordingly because your energy is not silent. People sense it. Rooms react to it. Opportunities recognize it. You do not need to chase the life you want. You need only stabilize the frequency that already matches it. That begins with refusing to confuse your lowest emotional states with your identity. You are not your fear or your triggers or your history. You are the awareness underneath all of it, the frequency guiding the next signal you broadcast. When you stop identifying with the version of you that lives in survival, you create space for the version that leads with presence and quiet strength. You stop performing high vibration and begin embodying it, not through perfection, but through maturity. High vibration has never meant constant joy. It means coherence, the alignment of thought, emotion, and action. And when that alignment becomes your baseline instead of a rare peak moment, your reality rearranges quickly. It feels as if life bends toward you, but it is simply responding to a signal that is no longer fragmented. This transformation begins when you stop treating low vibration as your identity and start recognizing it as a pattern you once practiced and can now release. Most people live as if they are at the mercy of their energy, waiting for conditions to improve so they can feel better. They assume frequency rises on its own, that vibration is something reactive and unpredictable. But the truth is rarely spoken. Your frequency is programmable. You can shift it deliberately. This is vibrational mastery, the moment you stop waiting for external change and start instructing the field with the certainty of someone who knows, I am not the effect, I am the signal. To live this way, you must understand that your state is not fixed. It is a living equation constantly recalculating. Breath, attention, posture, emotional memory, biochemical rhythm, and subconscious command all contribute to your vibrational output. Change even one of them, and the rest begin to shift with it. So we start with the first key. Breath, the hidden remote of your entire nervous system. Fast, shallow breathing communicates danger. Slow, deliberate breathing communicates safety, and safety is what allows elevated emotional states to surface. The moment your breath changes, your chemistry follows, and with it, the entire signal you send outward. The second key is attention. Wherever your attention rests, your energy organizes itself. And more than that, it crystallizes possibilities. If your focus lives in what is missing, what is delayed, or what feels uncertain, the field arranges itself around that absence. But when your attention settles into appreciation, wholeness, or even a small sense of completion, you begin aligning with timelines where those states already exist. The third key is posture and somatics. Your body broadcasts your convictions long before your words do. A collapsed chest, a tightened jaw, a shrinking stance all communicate resignation. When you lift your chest, lengthen your spine, and inhabit your space with presence, the signal you send becomes one of grounded clarity. Not ego, not force, simply alignment. The field recognizes it. Your body is always speaking the language of frequency. Fourth comes emotional memory. You have touched elevated states before. Gratitude, steadiness, confidence, peace. These are not ideals. They are imprints. Every time you revisit one of these internal landmarks, the path back to them becomes easier. High vibration is not something you manufacture. It is something you recall and re-anchor until it feels natural again. And finally, neurochemical reinforcement. Each moment you shift into coherence, your brain and body release signals that begin carving new pathways. Over time, repetition turns these pathways into defaults. You are not producing a temporary mood. You are installing a new energetic operating system. So how do you apply this in the moments when you feel off-center? You simplify it into a 90-second recalibration, a field-shifting ritual you can access anytime you feel overwhelmed, reactive, or disconnected. The 90-second frequency reset begins by stopping everything. Sit or stand in complete stillness. No distraction, no immediate reaction. Just pause. Inhale through your nose for 5 slow seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale through your mouth for 7, releasing tension like air leaving a balloon. Place one hand over your heart and the other over your belly. Feel the contact. No analysis, just sensation. Let your awareness return to your body as the source of your signal. Bring to mind a moment when you felt aligned, strong, or deeply centered. Not an idealized memory, a true one. Allow that feeling to rise through your system as if it is happening again. Let that emotion spread through your chest, down your spine, into your face and hands. Let your posture shift with it. Let your breath deepen. Let your nervous system experience the message. On the exhale, say internally, I am the frequency, not the effect. Hold this signal for 30 more seconds. Notice how your body recalibrates, how the space around you seems to soften, how the field becomes receptive. This is not imagination. It is not a mental trick. It is real-time energetic authorship. In 90 seconds, you change your chemistry, your coherence, and your outward broadcast. And with that, your point of attraction shifted. Now imagine doing this 3 times a day. Then imagine doing it for 21 days. Then imagine the version of you that would step into the world if this frequency became your new baseline. This is how intentional creators move through life. They don't sit around hoping their vibration will shift. They construct it. They rehearse it. They reclaim authority from old emotional programs and declare, this is the signal I choose now. And the field, consistent as ever, aligns itself accordingly, not because you forced anything to happen, but because you stopped letting external conditions dictate your internal state. Now the responsibility returns to you. State it clearly, I am the frequency. Let it become a marker, a reminder, a subtle imprint on the field around you, because you weren't designed to simply reflect what already exists. You were built to encode it. Reality isn't personal, it's precise. It doesn't answer to your effort or your frustration or even your potential. It responds to the vibration you embody, the steady tone beneath your thoughts, the pattern you practice repeatedly. The moment you stop assuming life should reward you for trying and start recognizing that it mirrors your energetic position, you begin to understand how change truly works. You don't attract what you wish for, you attract what you stabilize. And stabilize doesn't mean what you speak or visualize. It means the state you occupy, the emotional resonance you carry into conversations, choices, and moments of stillness. That resonance becomes the message, and reality echoes it back. Not always immediately, but always accurately. If your signal is tangled, your experience becomes complicated. If your system broadcasts fear, interactions become unpredictable. If doubt dominates, opportunities seem to evaporate. But when you return to clarity, to steadiness, to inner certainty, even in brief private moments, the field begins to reorganize around that rhythm. Not because the universe suddenly became cooperative, but because you removed the interference from your own signal. This isn't mystical language, it is resonance. The natural tendency of one system to synchronize with another that emits a frequency it matches. It's the reason instruments harmonize. It's the way biological systems communicate. It's how energy fields lock into coherence. And this same principle governs how life interacts with you, not as a conscious being choosing favorites, but as an intelligent field responding to the energetic data you broadcast. So the real question isn't, why is this happening to me? But what frequency am I stabilizing that makes this outcome possible? Most people avoid this question because it demands full ownership. It takes away the comfort of blaming circumstances. It dissolves the belief that life operates randomly. It asks you to recognize that patterns, delays, breakthroughs, and cycles are all reflections of your inner state, and that state is always modifiable. Life is not responding to isolated thoughts. It responds to alignment, and alignment is not an abstract idea. It is a lived, embodied synchronization where your beliefs, emotions, and actions move together. where your internal world stops sending conflicting instructions. When this becomes your dominant mode, the mirror clears. People interact with you differently, not because they transformed, but because your field no longer invites discord. Money behaves differently, not from force, but because scarcity is no longer the tone of your system. Love arrives not through effort, but because your presence stops signaling loss. This is the energetic mirror at work. It doesn't distort, it doesn't judge, it doesn't hesitate out of malice. Any delay you notice is simply the field aligning with your true frequency, not with who you hope to be. Once you fully grasp this, the need to chase outcomes fades. You stop trying to manage life from the outside and begin refining your inner signal instead. You start asking the questions that matter. What is my energy saying right now? Which version of me would respond to this with clarity and alignment? What is the next coherent breath, the next coherent action, the next coherent word? Every moment becomes instruction, and the mirror of life responds only to clarity. You can't command a smile from a mirror while frowning. It only reflects what is present. Life operates in the same way. You cannot shout intentions into the world and expect joy if your inner frequency is contracted. You must embody the energy first, become the vibration, and then the reflection shifts naturally. When your signal is clear, the mirror is immediate. There is no cosmic delay, only friction within your own system. As coherence replaces contradiction, your reality sharpens, sometimes faster than you expect. This is not luck. It is physics. It is the natural law of energy responding to unambiguous instruction. This is why those who vibrate higher often create more with less effort. Their signal is unfragmented, coherent, and unwavering. If your life still feels slow, confusing, or misaligned, pause and ask yourself what distortion remains in your broadcast. Are your words and your feelings aligned? Are you affirming abundance while holding tension? Are you declaring readiness while resisting reception? The mirror cannot be fooled, and that is liberation. Once you accept that your reality reflects your frequency, you reclaim authority over the only thing you truly control, your vibration. From there, you stop struggling with life and begin becoming the energy you wish to see manifested. There is a subtle, unmistakable moment when frequency moves from theory into lived experience. When you stop working on your energy externally and start inhabiting it as your native state, you cross the threshold from seeker to emitter, from someone trying to influence reality to someone who is the influence. This is embodied vibration. It is not about forcing constant positivity. It is about anchoring into coherence so deeply that your stillness becomes magnetic, your silence begins reshaping outcomes, and your presence alone communicates certainty. You become a signal of inevitability. When energy becomes your default, you don't just think differently, you transmit differently. You don't hope for alignment, you embody it. Your nervous system becomes a channel of certainty. Your breath becomes a rhythm of presence. Your attention sculpts outcomes. Reality responds, not because you control it, but because your field is unmistakable. Noise is gone. Contradictions dissolve. Your emotional body trusts higher frequencies consistently. You no longer depend on circumstances to feel safe. You radiate safety from within. You no longer wait for achievement to feel worthy. You are inherently worthy. You no longer ask life to validate you. You transmit your signal, and life naturally organizes around it. This is the final shift. You stop proving your power and start living it. Others feel it, not because you tell them, but because your energy speaks louder than words. Your presence becomes an invitation, a stabilizing force, a subtle recalibration to the field around you. You are not louder, but clearer. You are not chasing, but harmonizing. You are not hoping, but remembering. And this remembering spreads. Embodied frequency is transmissive. By living in coherence, you give others permission to rise. You become a portal not only into your own aligned reality, but into a field of higher possibility. Transformation unfolds not by fighting the old paradigm, but by radiating a state so real, so stable, so harmonized that the old patterns dissolve naturally. You don't just change your life, you change the energetic field you move through. Integration is key. Without daily practice, embodiment reverts to concept, And concepts alone do not collapse timelines. Only sustained vibration does. This is why the work is continuous. Frequency must be stabilized, deepened, and expanded. If you feel the resonance of this shift within yourself, the next step is simple. Practice, refine, and live your energy deliberately. The field is always listening. The question is, are you broadcasting clearly?